Yo, welcome back to SeaBed. Last time, Sachiko and Narasaki played chess intermittently. And Narasaki met with the blue-haired child. I think she's a child. People talk to her as if she's a child. And then the whole group went to go visit Auntie, who is called Lily. And she talked a bit about her life and the history of the mansion. And specifically, she mentioned that before the war, in quotes, I assume World War II, before the war, this mansion was a sanatorium, which obviously lines up with what we saw in Takako's POV. Yeah, I mean, right now I'm just thinking time travel or maybe simulation. But that definitely is definitely some important information. Okay, I forget what was happening exactly when we left off here with the princess. All right, she said she was going to introduce us to the architect who remodeled the mansion. Presumably she means like after the war. And then we cut to this scene with Narasaki and the blue-haired girl again. Okay. Let's put Narasaki on screen. Her slender fingers reach out to the book on the top shelf, but instead of pulling it out, only managed to push it deeper inside. Here you go. Standing behind Kozue and her wooden stand, I took the volume she was trying to reach. I thought you went home. I held up a stuffed doll in front of her as she turned around. I was planning to go after checking this. Ignoring the doll, she climbed down from the stand and walked over to the same desk as yesterday while carrying a large book. I sat down in the seat in front of her. Kozue opened the book right away and began scribbling down some notes. Alright, Lily said she could introduce you to an architect if you're interested. He could show you how the actual work gets done. I see. When? I don't know. She didn't mention it, so I suppose they can arrange it whenever. You can ask her yourself. Kozue stared at me for a few long moments until finally breaking her gaze. I'm grateful for what you did today. Thank you. She muttered that without looking at me while continuing to scribble away at her papers. Is this really that important for you? Not really, I'm just looking it up because I'm curious. Okay, you're lying? How did you get interested in this place to begin with? It was close. I don't really care what it is, I just like doing research. There are a lot of people who like crossword puzzles, right? It's the same. Crossword puzzles? If you know how many windows there should be in a... Okay, maybe you're not lying. If you know how many windows there should be in a room, you can tell how many rooms a building has just by looking at it from the outside. If you know how many windows there should be in a room, you can tell how many rooms a building has just by looking at it from the outside. Sure, I mean, that is a factual statement. That does follow logically, I guess. You can tell it has a fireplace if there's a chimney. And as you research that, you find more and more things that answer your questions. It's like a crossword puzzle, right? So you don't have any special feeling for this place? Kozue continued scribbling without answering. All I could hear was the rustling of paper and the light thud of the pen as it pressed against the desk. I looked up at the ceiling to realize it was already dark outside. The sounds of writing suddenly ceased. I returned my gaze to Kozue and found her staring at me. Why do you care about me so much? To be completely honest, it's because you remind me of my good friend. What kind of person is she? She regarded me with another one of her sharp stares. She was a smart girl who liked books, kind of like you. Why are you speaking past tense? She was a smart girl who liked books? Are you not talking about Sachiko? No, you said you were talking about Sachiko last time. Could say she was also kind of difficult to deal with. I don't think she had any other friends besides yours truly. Kozue mumbled something. She began stuffing her notes into her bag. Oh god. Are we actually Sachiko? Is the game lying to us? Are we Takako? Are we Takako and we think we're Sachiko? When's the last time we've seen ourselves? I think that would be the bat scene with the rubber duck, right? That's the last time we saw Sachiko. Like in the CG. The fact that she's talking in past tense here is so weird. I picked up the book she left lying on the table. Let me write that down actually, sorry. Interesting. Kozue didn't say anything, so I returned it to its original place on the shelf. I turned around to see Kozue staring at me, all ready to go. She broke her gaze right away and started toward the exit. I followed after her, leaving the library. I caught up to her on the stone-paved road and continued walking with her until we came to the fort that split off to the mansion. You live behind that mountain? Oh yeah, Nanae did say that there was a small, like, village in the mountain close to here, right? Yes. I heard there was a small village there. I heard that too. Is it close? Yes. I'd love to see it. Can I come with you for part of the way? Kozue stole a short glance at me and let out a small sigh. She didn't outright reject me, so I kept going. We passed the road that split to the mansion, eventually reaching a set of stone stairs. We ascended them and found ourselves on an outside road. Kozue continued up the slanted, unpaved slope without changing her speed. Looking behind, I saw the three-way junction we passed with the car back when I first came to the mansion. Looking behind, I saw the three-way junction we passed. We passed with the car? Sorry, I'm just trying to understand. Is she saying, I saw the three-way junction we passed, comma, with the car back when I first came to the mansion? No, that doesn't make sense. She's saying, I saw the three-way junction we passed with the car, comma, back when I first came to the mansion. But then, why we? We passed with the car? Was there someone else in you in the car? I turned back and addressed Kozue. How did you feel about meeting Lily today? I caught up to Kozue and lined up next to her as she gave me a puzzled look. Everyone was calling her an aunt, so I imagined it'd be someone older. I thought she'd be at least as old as Nanae's mother. Is she not? Kozue didn't seem too interested and just shrugged. Where is Nanae's mother? After a few minutes, we found ourselves in front of a small tunnel. A single car would have trouble fitting in. We reached the end of the short tunnel and emerged onto a wide basin. The irrigation ditches sprawled all across the area, disappearing beyond the mountain. A small river flowed in the middle. Most of the fields were either rice or wheat plantations, with a few isolated farms visible here and there. We continued down the gentle slope of the unpaved road along the river. It's beautiful here. There's nothing here. That can be a good thing depending on how you look at it. I stopped, but Kozue didn't. The distance between us began to grow. I think I'll be turning back around here. Kozue seemed on the verge of looking back, but ended up continuing onwards without paying me any further attention. As I made my way back through the tunnel, I realized that the southern end of the mountain was brighter than the northern one. Okay. Is that supposed to be a clue? The southern end of the mountain was brighter than the northern one. We're in the northern hemisphere, so the sun is rising in the east, right? And is setting in the west. Isn't there a thing where, like, if you're in the northern hemisphere, then when the sun is, like, in the middle of the sky, it's in the north? But if you're in the southern hemisphere, it's in the south? Or is it the opposite? I don't know. This probably isn't important anyway. This probably is unrelated. I was walking through the inner yard, watching the orange-tinted light of dusk illuminate the second-floor windows when I spotted Nanae approaching with a cartwheel of vegetables. Who is taking care of all these vegetables? Is it just you? You're like doing the whole... You're like taking care of the entire farm? She looked like a beggar from some old fable, her forehead covered in sweat and mud, her face frozen in a broad smile. Oh. She waved my way after spotting me, just like she did this morning. Looks like it was a bountiful harvest. We're having lots of fresh vegetables for dinner tonight. Oh right, did you manage to meet my auntie? Yes. Dude, I so wish this game had a Control F function. I really want to Control F Sachiko, like the word Sachiko right now, to see how often this word was said. Because it says we're in Sachiko's POV at the bottom right, but can I trust that? Yes. I raised the basket in front of her. I see you got yourself some pulverins. I saw her making them this morning. Those things are to die for. Care for some? You sure? Yes. Nana came closer, pulling her hands out of muddy cotton gloves. Oh, there was still some dirt on her hands. It must have seeped through the gloves. That's fine. Here you go. I picked up one of the pulverins and dangled it in front of Nana's mouth. She took a bite. Okay, calm down, Sachiko. Your girlfriend just died. Or maybe not. Maybe she died fucking 100 years ago. Who knows? It's good. I love how it melts in your mouth, she said while wiping her forehead. Is Lily not a full-blooded Japanese? Nana paused for a few moments, then burst into laughter. But she still introduces herself as that. Is that not her real name? I gave her an incredulous look. No, her real name is Takako. She's 100% Japanese. It's just that apparently she thought her real name didn't suit the mood of this place, so she changed it up a bit. I see. Her real name's Yurika. Yurika. Yuri, you say? That's a beautiful name. I agree. Lily was apparently the name of a character in a movie she liked as a child, but I can't comment on that since I never saw it. Movies with a character named Lily. I don't know. I see. Nana's gaze was transfixed in the basket, so I gave her another pulveron. Anyway, I've got to go back and start preparing for dinner. I'll be looking forward to it. Oh, you totally should. Uh-oh. What's going on? Bye-bye, see you tomorrow. The nurse leaned down and waved the boy goodbye. Boy? There are boys here? Goodbye. The boy took his mother's hand, who had leaned down just like the nurse, and continued towards the gate of the kindergarten where his parents' car waited. Sorry. Red dragonflies fluttered against the backdrop of the crimson sunset. I returned to my book. After a bit of time, another car arrived, and there was one less child again. Oh, hello. What are you reading? A child's voice caught me unaware. I don't think there's supposed to be an S here. I looked from the book to see a young girl with a ponytail staring at me. Let's play if you're alone, she suggested before I could answer. I'm not alone. I glanced at my red-haired friend beside me. Narasaki? She was looking at the ponytail girl. I have a lot of questions. Oh, new tips. Bathroom and kitchen. Oh no, the tips always are such a mindfuck for me. I don't know if I'm ready. Oh, chapter 3. Promise. Whose POV are we gonna be this time? Okay, we're back to Takako? Okay, it seems like we're just continuing where Takako left off. Okay. Something funny I just noticed. All the achievements for, there's an achievement for finishing every chapter on Steam. And all of them are images of the CGs, but zoomed in on the character's boobs. Like the one for the prologue is Sachiko in her underwear. Like at the beach. I guess it's a bikini, it's not her underwear. The one for finishing chapter 1 is of Takako getting a massage, I think, and it's zoomed in on her boobs. And the one for finishing chapter 2 is of Narasaki, I think, and it's her in her jacket, and it's also zoomed in on her boobs. Why did they do that? Okay, wait, can I... Fuck, I wanted to... Okay, wait, I didn't mean to... Am I starting back from the beginning? What did I do? What did I click? Okay, I clicked start. Sorry, I didn't mean to press that. Oh god, how long am I gonna be stuck here? Oh god. I just wanted to go look back at that scene we just saw at the kindergarten. I guess this works out too, because I also wanted to look back at the scene at the very beginning, so I guess we're going to see that here also. But okay, I don't remember the opening being this long. Oh, never mind. I do remember Grim Angel Windy Shine for the Chinese translation. Okay. Fuck, it doesn't save the text log. Okay, I just want to look at because there's a scene of them at the kindergarten here, right? Are them like meeting for the first time? Oh, hello? Okay. My family, this is from Takako's POV, it says. I suddenly noticed a small girl walking in front of her new house. She was carrying a red bucket and a trowel. She circled around the building, disappearing behind it. As I got out of the car and started running after her, I heard my mother's voice from behind. Hey Takako, where are you going? I'll go look at that park. Does this follow right into the scene we saw? Because in the scene we saw, at the end of chapter 2, it seems like Sachiko didn't know who Takako was. But here it seems like they're meeting for the first time also? Or was that a prank and she was running after Narasaki there or something? It's hard to say. I'm still stuck on the screen. Get me out. Sorry. Is there gonna be... Okay, yeah, there's a log here. The other thing I'm confused about is why is there a nurse at this kindergarten? The nurse leaned down and waved the boy goodbye. Goodbye? The boy took his mother's hands, who had leaned down just like the nurse, and continued towards the gate of the kindergarten where his parents' car waited. Is the nurse just the teacher? Is that they... Or it's just a nurse that works around here, and maybe the boy was hurt or something? I don't know. I returned to my book. What are you reading? A child was coming unaware, and I looked in the book to see a young girl with a ponytail staring at me. So when Takako shows up, let's play if you're alone. I'm not alone. I want my red-haired friend beside me. She was looking at the ponytail girl. Why did Takako think that Sachiko was alone if she was sitting next to Narasaki? This seems like one of those scenes you go back to read it after you know like the big twist or whatever, and it makes a lot more sense. Okay, but we got some tips to read through. Some tips that are probably gonna make me go insane again, but we gotta do it. We're still in Narasaki's clinic, yeah. So we got bathroom and kitchen. We did bedroom, right? Yeah, I think. Sachiko was on room 208's bed, her upper body raised. Her gaze was fixed in front of her. It didn't seem like she had noticed me just yet. Is this a direct continuation of the last tips? Where you like, the room like metamorphosed into another room and then it changed back? I tried addressing her, but received no reaction. Are you okay? I went around closer to the bed. I noticed she was soaked all over and shaking from the cold. Her face and her skin in general was paler than ever. I placed a hand on her bed. The thing was cold as ice. I called out her name and placed my hand on her shoulder. Can you tell who I am? Sachiko slowly looked up at me. As her eyes finally began to focus, she asked me, in a tone calm and natural, what I was doing here so late at night. I came over to see how you were doing. Are you feeling okay? I'm a bit cold. I gave her a nod. You seem to be freezing. I think you should take a hot bath. I stuck my hand under Sachiko's freezing knees and chest, lifted her up, and carried her all the way to the bathroom. Are you like princess carrying her? I made her sit on the edge of the bathtub. However, as I was preparing the shower, she stopped me, saying she could handle that much herself. I took Sachiko's soaked clothes and left the bathroom. The loud hiss of the shower filled my ears. Through the glass of the adjacent bathroom, I continued keeping an eye on her. Still sitting on the edge of the bathtub, Sachiko poured some hot water on herself. White steam escaped through the slit of the open door. I leaned against the bathroom wall and organized my thoughts. A whole bunch of unnatural phenomena occurred in quick succession. Yeah, you don't say. From how Sachiko's bed was cold to the touch, to how I was seemingly transported to a completely unfamiliar room for a brief period of time. I wanted to investigate the room again, but I couldn't leave Sachiko on her own. It also felt quite obvious that she was at the center of it all. Sachiko kept telling me how certain things happened at the clinic were odd. However, she had yet to say a single thing about that earlier phenomenon. It was possible that to her, what had happened wasn't odd in the slightest. She wasn't even in the room, right? When it happened? You said she wasn't in the room when you first entered. I gave the notebook I'd previously placed on the bathroom shelf a glance. I ended up bringing it with me in the heat of the moment. After giving the shower and a quick look, I picked up the notebook. Yeah, please, I want to know more about the notebook. I opened to the last few entries, the one I had previously skipped. I had a passage about how Takako was feeling worse. She passed away due to an illness. There were no details regarding the exact nature of the illness, but it seemed like Takako wasn't hospitalized. Instead, received treatment at home. Takako definitely seems like someone who wouldn't believe in traditional medicine. She definitely wants the Chinese herbs. I looked for the date Sachiko came to my clinic, but there was no entry like that. I flipped back to the last entry. It was yesterday. Huh. There's no entry of her going to your clinic? I heard the shower handle turn, accompanied by the sound of the water gradually stopping. I addressed Sachiko, successfully catching her attention. I'll bring you a change of clothes. Alright. You could also take a bath if you're still feeling cold. It's okay. I think I've warmed up enough. I left the room to get her a change of clothes. Both the corridor and the room had returned to a normal temperature, but I didn't feel like investigating that right now. I grabbed some clothes from the wardrobe and hurried back to the bathroom. Sachiko was still sitting on the other side of the glass door. As I placed her clothes in the bathroom basket, she suddenly asked me how long it had been since she came here. Today makes the 5th day. I've never stayed here for that long. Yeah. Are you sure I'm not bothering you? I'd rather you didn't think like that. This is my job. But I have to do my best to cooperate, right? Okay, well, you're bending the nature of reality, Sachiko, so I think I think you're okay. It would certainly make the process easier. I suppose so. Is there anything in particular you want me to do? I thought about it, but I'm not sure. Everything in this clinic exists for a reason. Do you remember how you got here? I don't, I'm sorry. I was here before I realized it. There has to be something. What do you think? I thought back to the day Sachiko came here. The first thing she did was tell me about Takako. I tried to avoid the subject so as not to upset her, but perhaps that was precisely the hint for what she wanted from me. Maybe you came here to talk about Takako. To talk about Takako? What exactly? Let's see. For example, I don't know much about what happened to you two after you left for Tokyo. I'd definitely be interested to hear more about that. All sorts of things happened. How about we talk about that for a while after you've done... Did she forget that Takako died again? How about we talk about that for a while after you're done? I mean, if you're okay with it. In the middle of the night? I finally remember what time it was. Still, I didn't feel like I'd be able to sleep, and I figured it'd be for the best to hear her out as soon as possible. I'm good as long as you're not too sleepy. Sachiko ended up agreeing to my proposition. Oh, new music, I think. Sachiko finished her bath, got changed, and dried her hair in her room. In the meantime, I prepared some coffee and white chocolates for us to snack on. Sachiko sat down in her seat and began telling me about her memories of the past, starting from when they left her hometown. about how they were originally employees of a particular company, about how they quit, about how they traveled to countless countries together. Okay, this lines up with what I know so far. Sachiko summarized everything briefly, but with enough detail to give me a vivid picture of everything that happened. I went to a southern island with Takako quite a while back. As we were gazing at the stars there, she said that nothing that happened would ever disappear, the same way we still saw the light of stars from 100 years ago in the night sky. Yeah, I remember that. That the same sight would still be visible in real time on some faraway planet. I feel the same way. But if that's true, I wonder how far I'd be able to go without her. Okay, so you do know that she's dead. You remember her just fine, don't you? I hope so. The conversation paused there as Sachiko took a sip of her coffee. She told me a large variety of stories, and all of them were easy to understand. I heard about their plans for the future, the hurdles they ran into, and the ways they managed to overcome them. Her memories are clear and precise, like stories from a book. They all had roots, which connected to the trunk and then the branches, ending in countless leaves and fruits, each a story on its own. As a result, I didn't merely listen, I saw what she had once seen. I saw what she had once seen. Perhaps I really did want to talk to someone about Takako. Sachiko placed a cup on the table. I agreed. I'm impressed. You were getting around even better than I thought. What? I can tell what you were thinking about as Sachiko made a faint smile. I mean, I'm impressed you retain your free spirit even while working for a company. It wasn't exactly easy, but it wasn't too hard either. You were always smart, and Takako was always decisive and the first to act. I think you made quite a team. Takako is actually really smart herself, at least when it comes to ideas and inventiveness. You leave her to her devices for a couple minutes, and she'll soon find something to amuse herself with. Even back in elementary school, she kept getting us involved in all sorts of stuff. Yeah, whether it's a game or a job, she never runs out of ideas. Compared to that, I was no better than a dry well. I only survived because she kept sharing her water with me. Takako may have chosen you because you know how to put that water to use. Sachiko paused and focused her eyes on the top of the table. Perhaps Takako noticed your talent from the very beginning. She has pretty good intuition too. Sachiko took a bite of the chocolate, sipped her coffee, and let out the breath, still drinking coffee. Her movements were smooth and deliberate, giving her a somewhat refined air. It looked like she had finally managed to relax a little. I wanted to share my memories with someone. Up until now, if I ever had doubts about something, all I had to do was ask Takako. But from now on, I'll have to start thinking for myself. But then the memories we shared are too detailed and plentiful for one person. I'm not entirely sure I understand. Sachiko shook her head. I'm sorry. That was a poor choice of words. I myself don't understand half of what I meant. I know you're trying to tell me something. It would have been better if I could have projected it by myself, but... The memories we shared are too detailed and plentiful for one person. It's okay. Thank you. Sachiko made a gentle smile. However, seeing that made me somewhat sad. There would probably never appear another person in her life who could understand her from half a word. And I knew that the parts no one could understand would sooner or later disappear from one's mind. But at least I can make sure to remember everything you tell me. The past won't change, even if I forget it. Memories and their loss is exactly what I'm researching. You could say I'm a professional at not letting people forget things. I just want some weight off my shoulders. I brought my chair over to the bed and kept talking to Sachiko until she fell asleep. I summarized the highlights of my conversation with her on a memo pad. The clock had just struck 2 a.m. So I was paying very close attention to Narasaki's dialogue in that scene, because I wanted to see if she actually had met with Takako and actually knew who Takako was, or if she's just playing along with Sachiko, because she's done that in the past, right? We saw in the prologue when Sachiko was like, "Oh, Takako has disappeared." Narasaki should have already known that Takako was dead, but she played along with Sachiko and was like, "Oh, yeah, I guess she did disappear. Huh, I wonder what happened." She didn't tell her straight away that, "What do you mean, Takako is dead?" So that's what I was looking at here. I was trying to see if maybe she was doing the same thing and she's playing along even though she knows that some part of Sachiko's story is false. But I feel like I didn't see any hints towards that. Even though I feel like that's probably still what's happening. Unless it was very subtle and I missed it, but I was looking out for that. Let's read the other tip. Kitchen. Complete silence descended upon the room as Sachiko fell asleep, almost as if time itself had stopped. I grabbed the notebook I found earlier and started reading it from the beginning. It felt a bit different after having heard Sachiko talk about those memories. Like would it lead me back to that cold, dark room? After reading through the entire notebook, I returned to the first page. You read through the entire notebook? This time, I compared its contents with my own memos about what Sachiko had told me. I was hoping to find the date marking the divergence between the two. Okay, so there is a divergence, like one of those is wrong, or maybe both of them are wrong. I rubbed my heavy eyelids with one hand, while the other was busy holding down the diary. After some careful deliberation, I picked out a date. I placed the notebook on my knees and opened it to the corresponding page. I read through the entry one more time, then pulled out a cutter knife from my coat pocket and removed all the entries after that date from the notebook. Excuse me? I tucked those pages into my pocket. What? It was 4:30 according to the clock. So it took you like 2.5 hours to read the notebook? I gave the black window a look. It looked almost like the darkness was swirling inside its frame. My arm slipped from the armrest, pulling me out of sleep. Sachiko slowly sat up in bed. Good morning. Good morning. After greeting me in a low voice, Sachiko looked at the clock. It was 12 o'clock. Hungry? Sachiko opened her mouth and closed it again and nodded. Isn't Sachiko going to ask, like, hey, Narasaki, why did you fucking cut half of my notebook where I keep my diary? We left the room together and continued to the kitchen. I looked for. You're not giving me the background of what the kitchen looks like. I looked for something in the fridge that could be eaten with little preparation. In the end, I pulled out some bread, pork chops, cheese, and salad, placing them all on the plate. I cleaned everything from the table, carried the chair from the corner of the room to it, and made Sachiko sit down. As I was filling her cups with freshly made coffee, Sachiko finally gave me a sober look. Did it go well yesterday? I did all that I could. Sitting down in my chair, I put some cheese and salad onto my bread and took a bite. Sachiko mimicked me. One sandwich was enough to fill me up. I was more concerned with sleeping than eating at the moment. Meanwhile, Sachiko had three sandwiches, fucking fatty. Do you want me to bring another one? No, I've had enough. You ate quite a bit, if I'm being completely honest. I was feeling really hungry. You had no appetite over the past few days, so that's a relief. I feel a lot better. Thank you. Sachiko took a sip of her coffee. I picked up a slice of cheese that didn't fit on any of the sandwiches. Sachiko placed a coffee cup on the table and glanced at the window. The outer part of the window was protected by black bars that were slightly bent at their edges. Beyond them, you could see the trunk of the trees in the inner yard. I couldn't tell exactly what she was looking at. I'll keep this diary for you. There was nothing but disinterest in Sachiko's voice as she gave me her permission. Oh, okay, that's convenient. Feeling always faded with time. It's hard to maintain them if you live your life normally. Are you trying to console me? Yeah. That was so convoluted, I barely understood it. That's real. That's real. So let's go with a cheerful smile and look at her hands resting on her knees. We started writing that after Takako got sick. Perhaps it's best to do as you say. I'll keep it for you. Also, once you find that your mood has returned to normal, the sooner you leave this place, the better. Still holding her coffee cup, Sachiko thanked me with a nod. What do you mean the sooner you leave this place, the better? You kept going on about, oh, you can stay as long as you want. Don't worry, Sachiko, stay as long as you need. But now you say you want her to leave? I guess you wanted to leave when her mood returns to normal. I met her gratitude with a smile. I'll prepare a bath for the evening. We ended up chatting half the night away, so how about we let some hot water wash the exhaustion away and go to bed early for now? Surely that's not it. That's it? Why was that separate? There was nothing in that. Okay. I guess that's it. Okay, these tips weren't as much of a mindfuck as the other tips had been. I mean, it definitely seems like there's some semblance of a timeline that's forming, right? Like the mansion was a sanatorium in the past, then it got renovated, turned into a hotel. Then at some point later, I guess Narasaki buys the mansion and turns it into her clinic. And that's what we see in the tips. And also, there's some paranormal phenomena happening in the future. The thing I'm most curious of is still the conversation that we saw Narasaki had with Kozue just before Chapter 2 ended. Because that conversation was weird. The fact that Narasaki referred to Sachiko in the past tense, and the fact that she said we, I think, or like when she talked about riding the car to the hotel, as if she like brought someone with her, maybe Kozue? I don't think so. I don't know. Just a bit strange, isn't it? A bit strange. Let's start chapter 3 a bit. We have some time. Okay, so this seems like there's the 2 Fudons on the floor, so this seems like a direct continuation of chapter 2. You know what's interesting? There isn't a single Takako background. Like there's this one with Takako and Sachiko, but otherwise it's just Sachiko, Narasaki, Mayuko, and then the sea. But there's not a single one of Takako. So I guess we'll go with this. I woke up around noon after the day I had my fit. Both the headache and the ringing in my ears were gone without a trace. As I sat up, I spotted a familiar notebook resting on the dining table. Like, you can see how the fact that the notebook here is important in the same way that the notebook in the tips is important. You can see how that would lead me to think that they're the same notebook, right? Mayuko told me to stay in the night duty room until she returned, so I killed some time by doing nothing in particular. After that, Mayuko brought me lunch and we ate together. It was udon and some tangerines. I wanted something more interesting. Don't force yourself to eat everything if you aren't feeling hungry. I thought that you were Sachiko for a second, but I feel like your sprite looks different than you do here. Like your eye color is a bit different. Because if I look at your sprite, I feel like you don't look like Sachiko at all. But if I look here, then you do look like Sachiko. Wait, is this even you? God, it's so hard to like... It's so hard to compare anime faces, but... Is this you? Or... I feel like your bangs are a bit more messy, like you've got a couple strands of hair that go past your, like the line where your bangs are cut, but here it's completely straight. And I feel like the eye color is slightly different. Is this not Mayuko? Your tips are a bit more curled, I feel, also. Compared here, they're more straight. I mean, it could just be a different illustration, like the hair is gonna look a bit different. But I'm not sure now that this is actually supposed to be you. I mean, if you just... I don't know. I'll stop theorizing based on the fucking sidebar graphic. Oh, wait, I can raise the brightness. If I raise the brightness, does it look more like... Hang on. No, the eye color still doesn't really match. I mean, it kind of does, but... I don't know. I'll stop. This is stupid. We'll just go with this one. Don't force yourself to eat everything if you aren't feeling hungry. I think I'm okay. If anything, I feel like my appetite has gone up. Most of the other patients have trouble getting out of bed the next day following a fit. Okay, you say that as if you have a lot of patients, but isn't it literally only Sanae right now? It can even upset their life rhythm. With that in mind, I think it'd be better for you to have something light now, and maybe eat a bit more for dinner later. This was your first fit since coming here, right? I nodded. I'll have to read all that now? I asked, pointing at the notebook on the table. I explained your condition a while back. Do you remember? I do. It was something this place specialized in, fit-induced amnesia. I lose some of my memories with each new attack. Is that what's happening to Sachiko? Like in the prologue, like we had a scene where she like opened her fridge to like get some tea or whatever, and she had one of those ringing fits. When that happened, did she forget something? Is this what makes her forget that you died every time? It was a newly discovered disease that had yet to even be named. So in here, we'll just call it the condition. The condition, that sounds ominous. Most patients tend to lose larger chunk of memories, ranging from a 1 month period to an entire year, sometimes even more. Okay, that's fucking... Jesus. Okay, this is important. But you never really forget things gradually, little by little, right? Right, you lose a whole set of memories right away, and that's it. Mayuko answered with a nod. As such, you can skim through the parts of your diary that you're sure you can remember. You will spot the bits you've forgotten right away. Although if you're curious, you can read all of it as many times as you want. Okay, well, we didn't keep the diary for our entire life, so that's not that useful. Well, maybe I've just forgotten a day or two that aren't even logged. I picked up the old notebook. With that as her cue, Mayuko stood up. I'll come check on you when I have some time off from work. You're worrying too much. Mayuko slid her feet into her slippers, gave me a quick smile, and left the room. Once I was sure she had left, I heaved a brief sigh. Then I opened the diary. Man, I wonder if I go back to the prologue. I wonder if there's like a noticeable change in Sachiko before and after she has a fit. Like, can you tell what she's forgotten? I wonder. There are 3 notebooks in total, including the new one, which only had a few days recorded in it. One notebook encompassed about a year, which meant I had about 2 years worth recorded. Have you been here for 2 years? I turned to the first page and ran my eyes over the first entry written in my hand. Looking at my own writing was a little embarrassing. I feel like you've been here for way less than 2 years, right? From the way they were talking about it. So were you keeping a diary before you came here? But it seemed like you were being forced to write a diary, like you didn't want to. So I don't know. On the other hand, seeing my past self come to life on the page was quite exciting, so I read everything without skipping a single detail. By the time I got to the second month though, I realized it was taking too long. After that, I started reading only every second or third entry. There are parts that I remembered well and some that I'd forgotten. I'd wake up, do some work, eat, take a bath, then go to sleep. It was pretty much that over and over again. I could only really keep track of entries that mentioned something unusual. When you say do some work, it's unclear if you mean like do some work around the sanatorium or like do some work at your real job outside the sanatorium. Like if this is before or after. As such, I continued through the notebook, reminiscing about my past. From time to time, I felt as though there was another me inside that notebook, and I was simply observing her from high above. At times like that, I felt like my past self wasn't really me at all. Yeah, that's fucking scary. Evening had come. Around the time my notebook's pages began to be tinted in orange, Mayuko dropped by the room. I was starting to get hungry, but when I asked her about it, she said that dinner would soon be ready. She also told me to try and bear it for a while longer, and only handed me a few candies to ease my immediate hunger. The rectangle-shaped candies came in wrappings of various different colors. I unwrapped the green one first and put it in my mouth, then did the same with the pink one. They both had about the same taste. This brings back memories. I think my grandmother used to give me candies just like these. Where did you get them, Mayuko? Your grandmother? I don't remember. I think I just bought them at the store. Maybe you had a ring fit that made you forget where you got the candies. She meant the small, privately owned store at the port. It's pretty interesting to see stores over here that don't belong to any chain. You don't see that kind much in the big city. Your grandmother must have bought candies from a store just like that. After some more small talk, Mayuko left the room to prepare dinner. When she came back, the sun had already set. I had finished reading the diary and was about to put some tea into the water I boiled for myself. Have you finished? Yeah, more or less. Did you spot any parts you have forgotten? I tilted my head a little. Not really. There were a few parts I could barely remember, but nothing to the extent where I'd start suspecting that my memories were gone. So there were no passages that felt completely new to you? No. I see. Does that mean I didn't forget anything this time around? Mayuko slowly shook her head. I doubt that. There are times when you feel you haven't forgotten anything, but it turns out to be just a short episode that wasn't really important. Or it was something you remembered as you read the diary. In your case, I'd say it could be either of those possibilities. Or maybe you forgot like something when you were 6 years old or whatever. I see. Mayuko interrupted me as I wrestled with that possibility. I'm sure you're tired, Takuka. Have your dinner ready. What did you make tonight? You'll find out when you come to the cafeteria. I followed Mayuko out of the room. I made it a little more extravagant than usual, so you can look forward to it. You remember I'm not a fan of yam and vinegar, right? And on some days she likes spicy food, and on some days she doesn't like spicy food. I hated those things, but Mayuko loved them. It wasn't to the extent I couldn't eat them, but they tended to come up a lot in dishes that Mayuko labeled as delicious, so... Yam and vinegar. I feel like not liking vinegar is weird. Like, it's pretty... I feel like it's a common condiment. That pollock roe wasn't too bad when I forced myself to try it, but... This time, I made sure to fix up something you definitely like. Our dinner tonight turned out to be hamburg steak and fried prawn. I pointed out to Mayuko that she might be treating me too much like a child. Oh god, I'm hungry now. Although I appreciated getting an extra portion of rice. You guys want to know the real lore? I haven't fucking eaten since when? Since this save file I did this morning. I'm starving. The next day, my life returned to its usual rhythm. I woke up in the morning, exercised, and did the work I was asked. I ate, bathed, wrote in my diary, and slept. Nothing in my schedule changed much, well, maybe except for the fact that I spent more time in the night duty room with Mayuko. Okay. Oh. What are you doing? Are you doing like a Super Sentai pose, or? The weather was great this morning. Are you doing like an Ultraman bit? Warm sunlight entered my room through the windows as the sound of radio calisthenics reverberated across the walls. Oh, okay, I see. That's what you're doing. Calisthenics. My hands touched Mayuko's as I stretched out my chest. Today she was exercising next to me. It suddenly got pretty cramped in here when we both extended our arms. Mayuko continued her exercise without minding me, so I tried turning a little so we wouldn't be on the same line. Before I realized it, though, she had already turned as well. It's nice to exercise once in a while. Mayuko wore a skirt, so she skipped most of the leg-related exercises that would have been too revealing. Come on, you've already given me like a full body massage. You can show your underwear, it's okay. You should do this every day. Yeah, it reminds me of summer vacations back in elementary school. Did you have to do it for stamps too? Yes. When I was in my 6th year, I was actually the one doing the stamping. I did that too. I used my usual family name stamp, but the ones with the more complicated names get priority treatment. The more strokes, the better. Names like that look cool on paper, apparently. The exercise ended with taking a deep breath. I let my hands fall to my sides. Then I turned off the radio. Are you sure it's not just your imagination? I used my family name stamp too, and it didn't feel like I was treated differently than anybody else. Your family name is what again? I have it written down somewhere. I think. Surely I have this written down somewhere. I know Sachiko's last name is Mizuno. Or is that her first name? I mean, it depends how you think about it. Did I not have Takiko's last name? I actually don't. Did they say it and I just didn't write it down? Or has it not been said? Huh. That's interesting. Your boobies have always been big, haven't they? Excuse me? Mayuko remained silent until I turned around and our eyes met. I think that's just your imagination too. Now that I think about it, I never managed to make it through all exercises during my vacations. Do you get anything if you end up with a perfect stamp record? No idea. Maybe they award you with stationery or alarm clocks or something along those lines. I figured it'd be something like that. I sat down on the bed. Why are alarm clocks though? I got the parts about stationery, but at our school that was a price for a perfect attendance record. Cool. Is that really something where the person with a perfect attendance record would need? Yeah, that's like the last thing they need. Perhaps not. Mayuko smiled to herself. You're a pretty diligent one though, Mayuko. How come you couldn't keep up a perfect attendance record for the radio exercises? Our family went to my grandparents' house for Oban. Most other families also go on trips during the summer, so getting that prize is not as easy as it sounds. Yeah. Mayuko picked up a small parcel from one of the shelves and held it up in front of me. Look, I found this in the storage room on cleaning day. It was wrapped in light brown craft paper and had the size and weight of a dictionary or a really thick book. Upon checking the other side, I realized it was addressed to me. Where exactly did you find this? The storage room on the second floor. I might have gotten there by accident when we were rearranging our belongings. It's not written whom it's from. When we were rearranging our belongings. I think there's a book or something like that inside. This is some good paper. I'd hate to tear it open by hand, so could you maybe lend me a knife? Of course, yeah, you don't want to ruin the paper. While getting up from the bed, I reached out and placed a parcel on the side table. After that, I returned to my previous position. Well then, let's go do the laundry, said Mayuko. Are you not going to open it? Okay. That was strange. Oh, laundry CG. Okay, I guess you're just waiting to open it later. I had a really scary dream the other day. The morning sun filled the second floor corridor with its bright rays of light. Mayuko's silhouette flickered in between the light coming from the window and the shadows covering the walls. What kind of dream was that? I can't remember it anymore. Mayuko picked up the laundry basket, her expression blank. I was helping her with the laundry today, so I had a basket in my hands as well. I just remember it being really scary. Well, sometimes remembering dreams like that makes you realize they weren't all that scary at all. Yeah, that's a problem. I'm not sure I can help you there. She turned to me, making the top sheets begin to slide off from her basket. I'm terrible at this, by the way. I never ever remember my dreams. Oh, I caught them with one hand. Nice catch. Will I get a golden glove for this, do you think? I wrapped the sheet around my hand and returned it to the top of the basket. Perhaps. Okay, wait. Sorry. Who had the bad dream? I assume it was Takako. Yeah, okay, it was, or is it? Because this is the scene ending. I mean, yeah, I assume Takako had the bad dream, surely. Perhaps, but try not to go too crazy with the workout routine until you start feeling better. We continued down the corridor, its wooden floorboards creaking below our feet. I glanced out the window through the branches of the camphor tree and spotted a girl walking down the stone-paved path. A girl? Sanae? Mayuko looked out the window too. The girl momentarily disappeared among the branches blocking her sight, but then popped up again in front of the entrance to the building on the other side. Isn't that Kozue? Kozue? Excuse me? Kozue disappeared into the west wing building, her silky hair fluttering behind her. Maybe she went for a walk. I mean, the weather's pretty nice. It certainly is. And a great day for laundry too. What's Kozue doing here? Mayuko resumed walking through the corridor. True enough. Also, from Takako's reaction here, it seems like she knows who Kozue is. Like, she's not surprised. Like, she didn't say like, oh wait, who's Kozue? She knows who Kozue is, it seems. True enough. It was indeed a perfect day for laundry. Oh, the roof. We haven't seen the roof yet. A gust of wind swept across the roof, the white sheets attached to the long iron bars fluttering in its wake. The dazzling blue sky extended all the way to the sea. A handful of few puddles littered the roof as the only remnants of the heavy rainfall we've been having lately, well, aside from some dew on the tree leaves. Please hold that side for me. Okay. I clasped one side of the sheets while Mayuko pinned it to the iron bar. With that, our baskets were now empty. I guess we're done. Thank you for your help. This took a lot less time than I thought it would. Aside from a few small clods that looked like torn up pieces of cotton drifting around, the sky was blue as far as the eye could see. I could feel a cool, somewhat moist breeze on my skin. When does your job start? Right after lunch, around 1 o'clock I suppose. And why don't we do something until then? Right here? Yeah. Something, you say? Mayuko looked around the roof, then up at the sky. The white sheets fluttered in front of the blue background. The floor's still a little wet though. Let's use the picnic sheet you've got in your room. You guys are freaks. It's pretty warm today, so I suppose we might as well. Oh, they're talking about a picnic, of course. Finding the driest area, we spread out our pink polyester sheet. We took off our shoes and sat down. Got some fucked up feet. Okay. Mayuko took out a sandwich, delicately wrapped in brown paper from the basket, and handed it to me. I undid the wrapping to realize it was made so I could eat it without my hand coming in direct contact with the sandwich. Did you do this wrapping? It looked like something that could be sold in stores. It's easy. I can teach you how to do it later. Yeah, do that. The sandwich had some potato salad, 2 thinly sliced pieces of tomato, and some lettuce decorating the whole thing like laces. I'm so fucking hungry. Hungry after all the work I did today, I quickly took a bite. Tastes great. No need to rush, I have a whole lot more where that came from. Mayuko pulled out the pot and 2 teacups from the basket and filled them with black tea. Would you have preferred green tea? No, I'm fine with black. Today's tea was not bitter at all and smelled like fruit. I placed the cup down and grabbed another sandwich from the box. This one had scrambled eggs, pieces of thinly sliced ham, and lettuce. The fresh lettuce perfectly complemented the soft texture of the ham and eggs. I ended up gobbling the whole thing down right away. It feels nice to see someone enjoying the food you made. Well, it's super delicious. I'm sure you'd be popular if you opened a shop. That's a good idea. Mayuko made a happy smile. Yeah, I could be the owner. Oh, are you familiar with management? Sure I am, provided I get to eat food like this every day. In that case, I'll think about it. The sea breeze ruffled my hair a bit. It's funny how, I guess from their POV, both Takako and Sachiko like lost the other, and they're both like immediately like flirting with the first girl they're seeing. The wave of the blue sea gave way for the waves of green as the trees across the entire mountain swayed in sync with the wind. Have you gotten used to the sanatorium, Takako? Yeah, more or less. It's full of beautiful sights, the meals are delicious, and best of all, there's a good-looking nurse with big boobs. Calm down, okay? Mayuko looked down at her breasts. That's sexual harassment. It sure is. I'm sorry. Don't sue me. Well, okay, I'll forgive you this one time. Thanks. You did give us a full-body massage, so if you report us for sexual harassment, you're also losing your job, because we'll report you for that, so I guess we're even. Is something the matter? I gazed off into the distance when Mayuko interrupted me. Were you reminiscing about something? Not at all. I made a light smile, but I felt like the scenery was about to make me remember something. Something fun? Mayuko smiled as well. I reached out to the sandwich box and realized there was only one left. I paused and glanced at Mayuko. She nodded with a smile. Another sudden gust of cool wind blew past us. Ah, it's cold. We'll be having snowfall before long. It will get colder and colder as it rains, so we won't be able to have picnics on the roof anymore. That's too bad. The conditions are rigid in the mountains. It might be boring for you, but it's best not to go outside during winter if you don't have any pressing matters. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, let's stop here. Man, I'm kind of tempted to like go through some of the story again and look at it through the lens of every time one of them has one of those ringing like fits, that means they're forgetting something. But I don't know if I don't really want to do that because I've already gone back through the story multiple times. I'll wait for some more stuff to feel like I have to do that. I mean, right now I feel like if I kind of just ignore the tips for a bit, it's either time travel or the sanatorium and the hotel are both in the same place. And both people are just missing each other. The fact that we saw Kozue at the end there, like walking in the garden, definitely makes it lean more towards the latter. But you need a lot more wacky stuff to make that work. I don't know why I keep coming back to Sachiko and Takako being the same person. I've said that idea multiple times now for several episodes. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still hung up on the fact that Narasaki referred to Sachiko in the past tense. Or she referred to whoever Kozue reminded her of in the past tense. And also Sachiko said 2 colleagues, not 3. Did she forget about An in one of her fits? She forgot that An existed? When is An gonna show up? Surely we're gonna see An at some point, right? Surely she's like a character with a sprite and everything. There's no way she isn't. Are we on? Okay, no, I'm getting stupid with it. Let's just stop here. Okay. All right. See you next time.